Hey guys, we are back with some more New York Islanders franchise mode, and in this one, we need to make some serious changes to the penalty kill. As we've seen in the last video, our penalty kill really is not doing that great. We take a look at the team stats. Yeah, 76.6, worst in the division. Not sure why it's showing New Jersey right there, a little glitch, but 76.6, worse than the division. Might even be worse than the NHL. Let's see. We go all the way over once again. So it's not the worst in the NHL, but it's bottom 5. So there's definitely room for improvement there. So what I'm going to do, I have some lines figured out here. We'll go into the lines and we'll go into the PK. And what I want to do is I want to take off Matt Barzal, and I also want to take off Ottoson. And what we're going to do here, we're going to move Dzingel down to the second line center, take Barzal off, and we're going to get Christian Ragnarsson in there. I'll explain all this in a minute. And then we are going to put Bennett Strite on here instead of Ottoson. And then we'll move Muzzin up with, actually, Shea's already with Durat, and then Muzzin with Pulock. So here's my reasoning for this. Shea is with Durat because it's a nice balance. Shea provides some offense as well as defense, and then Durat can focus specifically on defense. Now, obviously, you don't really want to be too focused on offense on the penalty kill, but it still adds some aggressiveness to the penalty kill. And then Christian Ragnarsson, his giveaway to takeaway ratio is very good. 23 takeaways to 15 giveaways, so I figured we'll give him a chance on the penalty kill since we've been struggling anyway. Mike Commodore is staying on as he has been a beast defensively so far, 24 to 18. And then Dzingel hasn't really been where he usually is, and he's actually kind of struggling a little bit, so I put him down on the second line penalty kill, see if that revives him a little bit. And Bennett Strite with 28 takeaways to 17 giveaways, so hopefully he can get that penalty kill going as well. And actually, you know what, since Strite was so successful on the face-off dot last year with 58.82, we're going to see how he does this year. Now, obviously, this year so far he's been pretty abysmal face-off wise, but he's only taken 37 of them, so we'll see how he does when he takes more on the penalty kill. And then Muzzin and Pulock provide a little bit of a balance as well, so we'll do the same thing here with Muzzin and put him with Pulock, and then Shea with Durat, and then Commodore and Strite. So there you go. Hopefully those changes do something for the penalty kill, because it has not been looking good for the penalty kill so far this year. So let's hope we can do something there. And the reason I made those changes, I wasn't going to make too many changes to the penalty kill before, but we did go on a little bit of a losing streak, or not a streak, but you know, it was back and forth really through all of December, and that's not really what you like to see out of a playoff contender. So you got to be consistent with those wins. So that's why we changed the penalty kill a little bit. So we'll go a little bit, well, actually, we'll go all the way through January. We'll see what happens with this penalty kill. Hopefully, it does some wonders for us. Colorado, we have a 5-4 shootout victory. All right, so not a great defensive effort, but, you know, I'll take it. We'll get as many points as we can at this point. Dallas, all right, 7-6 shootout win against another Western Conference team. I'll take it. Not great defensively, but we'll certainly take it. We'll take the 2 points. Another Western Conference team and another shootout. What do you know? So, hey, we're getting those points, especially against those Western Conference teams. Shootout and overtime doesn't really matter too much for them, so I will gladly take the 2 points. And then a 5-2 win against Tampa. That is what I like to see. 3-2 win against Columbus. Okay, we're starting to get it together here a little bit, but I would like to see some better defensive efforts. You know, so overtime loss against Montreal, I'll take the point, but it's unfortunate that they are an Eastern Conference team and might be someone who we're competing with. Oliver Wahlstrom is injured with a sprained ankle until January 25th. That is not a good injury to our first line right winger. So what do we do here? We're going to have to get Petty back in there, obviously. Now that's a trade that I do want to try to make by the trade deadline, is get a better depth forward other than Nicky Petty. So he's obviously not going to be on the first line. So who will be? So Strite, Beauvillier, Ho-Sang. We lost a goal scorer there on the first line in Oliver Wahlstrom. So Barzell's purely the assist guy this year. Mueller, I would like to get him going goal scoring wise. So maybe another passer on that wing, such as Josh Ho-Sang. But then again, then you take the passer away from Bennett Strite, and then maybe he doesn't score as many goals. He has 27 right now, so I definitely do not want to do that. Ho-Sang and Strite appear to have some tremendous chemistry. So maybe Mike Commodore, Christian Ragnarsson. Ragnarsson's a goal scorer, so maybe we could get him back on there. Or maybe Anders Lee. Maybe. I don't know. I don't really feel like rewarding him because he has not done well so far this year. And then Ottoson, Cizek, and Dzingel. I kind of want to keep Cizek on the fourth line for right now. Just let him develop a little bit down there. Ottoson is indeed a third line scoring forward. He's done well takeaway-wise. 54 hits. Maybe get some grit on that top line. So I don't think I want to move Dzingel up there either. So for me, it's either Ragnarsson or Ottoson. The two Swedes. So let's see. We did lose the goal scorer on that line. But Ragnarsson has some good chemistry with Lee and Commodore. So I think I'm going to try Ottoson on the top line. Just to get some physicality up there, you know? Because he has, what, 50 hits? I think? Yeah, 54. So we'll try Ottoson with Barzell and Mueller. And then we'll leave the middle six together. Then it'll be Petty with Cizek and Dzingel. So, yeah, we'll see what that does. And obviously not having Petty on the power play. So that would be... We'll get Ragnarsson up there since we took him off before. So then it would be Mueller, Barzell, and Ragnarsson for the power play. And then 4-on-4, Barzell, Mueller, Commodore, and then Beauvillier and Ragnarsson. We'll get Ho-Sang here with Beauvillier, and then we will get Ragnarsson with Commodore, as he is the goal scorer. And then 3-on-3 wise, we have Barzell, Mueller. We'll do the same thing here. Ragnarsson there, and then Ho-Sang right here. There you go. I just realized though that Bennett Strite is not on the 3-on-3. That might help if we get into a pinch there, especially goal scoring wise. Though we are very good goal scoring wise anyway, so I don't think we really have too much of trouble with that. So Petty, do not want him on the shootout. I'll move Barzell up. I'll move Mueller up. I'll move Ragnarsson up, and then instead of Petty, we will have Ho-Sang. There you go. That should be good. Yep, that is looking good. So it's unfortunate Wahlstrom is out. He has 27 goals so far in the season. Really can't afford too many of those injuries, but I'm just glad we're getting them out of the way before the playoffs. You know, have all the injuries you want before playoff time, but once the playoffs start, really do not want those injuries. 2-1 win against Dallas, so very good defensive effort. 4-0 win against Colorado. Speaking of good defensive efforts, there you go. Washington, they're pretty decent. Can see us competing with them for a wild card spot potentially if we need it, but I prefer not to have a wild card spot. Prefer just have the divisional spot. That is an unfortunate 3-1 loss. There's a 3-1 win against Nashville, Calgary, Florida, and we will get our guy back in there in Oliver Wahlstrom as we win 4-3 against Calgary and a 2-1 overtime win against Florida. So we're 31-14-5 currently on the season, looking good. Second in the division as we appear to be pulling away from the bottom part of the division in Columbus, Pittsburgh, Washington, and the Rangers. So that is always nice to see. So we will get Wahlstrom back in. How's Ottoson been doing on the first line here? 21 points. How many of those were from the fourth line is the question. 63 hits. He's been giving it away a little bit more, it appears, on the first line. So we'll get him back down on the fourth line. But it was a good experiment, though. They appear to have some pretty good chemistries. We did win the majority of those games that he was on the first line. And Ragnarsson will get Wahlstrom obviously back on the power play. And then, yeah, that's looking good. PK, yeah, that's the way it was. All right, we're back to normal. So Let's go the rest of the month, which actually we don't have any more games for the rest of the month. So let's just check out how our penalty kill's been doing. Power play, still the best in the division, 25.2. Penalty kill gotten much better so far, 79.3. We're actually not last in the division for once. So keep that going, boys. Keep that going. So glad we made those changes to the penalty kill. We'll check the player stats later. Don't want to waste too much time as of right now if we don't have to, and we are kind of rolling right now, so no reason to change anything. So we will go up to the trade deadline, and we will, at that point, evaluate what is going on with guys like Anders Lee, what kind of player we want for maybe a backup player for the 13th forward, because I don't know if we'll be able to get through the playoffs with Nicky Petty as our 13th forward. Solid 8-1 victory against San Jose. That is what I like to see. Montreal, we have, come on, that's got to be a win. That's got to be, Andreas Mueller has been injured with injured ribs. Estimated return is February 15th. All right, so that's not that long, but still unfortunate. So since we have Wallstrom up there, I'm not going to put Strite there. Really do not want to break up that second line, unless Beauvillier is struggling, but I really don't see much of a reason to break that line up if the two studs on that line are getting it done, which they are. So maybe Lee to get that physical presence up there, but again, I don't really feel like rewarding him, but then again, maybe getting first line time would improve his takeaways. So Commodore, Ragnarsson, who would I put instead of Lee? Ottoson, maybe? We'll try Lee on the first line. We'll get Ottoson up to the third line. And then with Czek and Dzingel will be Nicky Petty. So there you go. We'll try that. See what happens. Definitely not having Petty on the power play. So we will get Ragnarsson there. And yeah, we'll leave Ragnarsson on the left so we can pass it over to Wallstrom for the 1T. And then Barzal. I'm going to put Strite here as the goal scorer with Barzal. There you go. Hopefully that works out. I would imagine why it wouldn't. They should have some tremendous chemistry there. We'll do the same thing here. We might actually score more goals like this, because Strite appears to, or not Strite, but Mueller appears to be the kind of player who's just all around good at everything, sort of like Kirk Koliakovo was for San Jose. So we'll get Ragnarsson up here, and then we'll get, so we have Strite, Wallstrom, Barzal, and Ragnarsson. And then we'll put Hosang back in there. And there you go. Hopefully we're all good there, and that's definitely an unfortunate loss of Andreas Mueller. But hey, we got to keep the injuries on. Makes it a little bit more realistic here. 6-4 win against Montreal. That is what you like to see. And a 5-0 win against Edmonton. That is really what you like to see. So doing very well here so far to start out February. Unfortunate, as I said that, an unfortunate 5-2 loss against St. Louis. They seem to have our number this year in the times that we've faced them. And Andreas Mueller is back, but not quite. We'll get him back in there after Philly just to let his injury heal up a little bit. 5-1 loss against Toronto. Yeah, we're really hurting without Mueller here, it appears. Yep, 5-2 loss and then 8-1 win. So it's either very good or very bad without Mueller, it appears. So, no, not roster moves. Go back. Go into the lines. We'll go back to the original lines here. Ottoson 4th line, Lee 3rd line, and Mueller 1st line. There you go. Power play, got to get this back to where it was. All right, so for the 4-on-4, I'm going to try Mueller at center with Hosang. Just because I feel like that would work better than Barzal would, honestly, because Barzal and Strite, I would imagine, would be dynamite together. And then Commodore and Wallstrom, I would imagine, have good chemistry as well. Playmaker, sniper. And then hopefully the same thing here. Playmaker, sniper. Somewhat of a sniper and somewhat of a playmaker. Just Mr. Everything, really. And then 3-on-3, we have... Honestly, we'll do the same thing. Get Mueller in there at center. Hopefully he's been pretty good on the faceoff so far. What's he been doing, actually? Yeah, very good. So we'll definitely try him at center there for the 3-on-3 on 4-on-4. Extra attackers. Shootout, we will get our guy Mueller back in. 6-2 victory against Vegas. Arizona, we have a 2-1 shootout win. That is what I like to see. And let's just hope we can keep rolling here until the trade deadline. And if we can, then I won't feel compelled to make any trades, which doesn't look like we're going to. As yet, we just keep winning. A solid shootout win. Once again, that appears to be a consistent story with us. We appear to go to shootouts very often, and when we do, we win them. And we were on a very nice winning streak there from Philly to Carolina. So that is a solid 7-game winning streak. Really, no reason to make any changes here. We are 41, 17, and 5. I mean, at least not in terms of our roster. I don't think we need to make any changes. So Oliver Wahlstrom with 39 goals so far on the season. Looking very nice. Ben Strite with 41 goals. Oh my goodness. He is on pace for a 50-goal season, boys. Sven Edler and what's his name? And Nelson Crab better watch out, because, man, this guy is probably going to smash the goal scoring record for this channel for goals for computer generated players. In 2 seasons, he has 84 goals, and his second season isn't even finished yet. Jeez, man. He is just on. This guy loves scoring goals. He just loves it. He eats it up. Oh, man. And he has more assists, I believe, this year than last year, didn't he? Yeah. He had 11 assists total last year. What a guy. What a draft pick. Matt Barzal with 53. Mueller with 48. Ho-Sang with 43. Riley with 43. Commodore 39. He's getting a lot better. Is that his career high, I believe? Yes, it is for Mike Commodore. And again, the season's not even over yet. Ryerson with 36, Shea with 33, Beauvillier 33, Lee 31, Ottoson 28, Czak 22, Dzingel 20, Pulik 19, Dobson 18, Durat 9, Muzzin 9, Wild and Petty with nothing so far. So yeah, that's what I mean. We really need to get a better depth forward there. Everyone's a plus, it appears, besides Petty. So every roster player is a plus, and Lee appears to have gotten his plus back up there, so that's good. How's he doing on giveaway takeaway ratio recently? He hasn't gotten worse in terms of the ratio. Really not a great season by any means from Lee. I mean, I guess point-wise he's been doing all right for the third line. Good, actually, for the third line, but I'm just not sure about those giveaways to takeaways. Power play points, we've got Wahlstrom with 21, 15 goals. Strite with 10 goals on the power play as well. Barzal with 17, Mueller with 16, Ho-Sang with 14, Commodore with 13, Riley with 10. We have 2 shorthanded goals this year in the forms of Barzal and Strite. And then face-off-wise, Mueller's at a 61.6, Barzal 55.1, Beauvillier 53.7, Commodore 50.4, and then Ben Strite not doing too well, 45.7, and then Ryan Dzingel 44.5, Czak 42%. Yeah, might have to change that there, but I honestly wouldn't know who to put there but other than Czak. So that might be something we want to consider in our trade that we make for a depth forward. We might want to consider getting a solid center who can take face-offs, who's also good defensively. So physicality-wise, Pulik with 111 hits and Shea with 108. Mueller with 104. Strite with 103. Definitely getting a lot of physicality from our good players there. Durat with 98. Riley 89. Lee 83. Ottoson 79. Muzzin 72. And then takeaways and giveaways. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Good. Very good. But again, Wahlstrom producing offense. Barzal producing offense, so I don't really mind. Pulik, pretty good for a defenseman. Ho-Sang, pretty good. Beauvillier, Riley, very good for a defenseman. Holy. Dzingel, not great, especially compared to where he's been in years past with the takeaways to giveaways. Yeah, so he's been having an off year. Pascal Durat, defensive defenseman. Not much you're going to do about those giveaways for defensive defensemen like him. Muzzin, not great, obviously. Not too bad, though, in terms of a ratio. Dobson, very good, actually. Cizek, Lee, really not good. Petty, actually, he's done all right defensively, but, you know, I would still like to get someone who could put up points. Goaltenders, John Gibson's fallen off a little bit, 908, actually a lot. 908 from when we last checked. Kincaid is at a 929, so good to see that Kincaid is still doing what he does best, playing backup goaltender. So if it comes down to it in the playoffs, I really have no problem with going to Keith Kincaid if we have to. AHL-wise, let's see. Hutchinson, 901. 3 shutouts. Defensively, Greiba, 78 overall now. My goodness, what a stud. John Toibert, 75 overall. Let's see, forwards. Yanni Pekarinen with 51 points in 55 games, 73 overall, I believe I saw. Rafael Pouliot, 73 overall with 24 points. Doug Hines, 21 points, 72 overall. Anyone else we care about down here? Does not look like it. Lynn hasn't played since we last checked. So now what we'll do is we will see if we can get a good defensive player. Now let's see if Anaheim is willing to give up. What's his name? Yarncrow. No, they are not. And that salary's still a little too much for me, just given our current salary situation. So we're going to move on. Alright, so I finally decided on a depth player. That took like 10 or 15 minutes to look through every team. But I've decided on, from the Chicago Blackhawks, Joe Pavelski. 81 overall, 38 years of age, only 1 year left on his deal, so it's not going to be a big deal to acquire him. And Blackhawks want to give him up. They're a rebuilder still. And his faceoffs, 54%. We can slot him at center for a struggling Tim Cizek. He's not that physical, but his takeaway to giveaway ratio is good. So we're going to try to get Joe Pavelski here, as he's not that expensive. He has a bottom 6 potential, so I would not imagine we keep him past this year. So we'll just send probably a draft pick to Chicago. That's probably what they want. They want our first, but we're not going to give them that for Joe Pavelski. We'll give them Colorado's 3rd round pick and see if we can get that for Joe Pavelski. Proposed trade. Okay, so we'll give them a 3rd and our 5th. Will that go through? No. All right, we'll try 3rd and our 4th. Proposed trade. Trade accepted. There you go. All right, so we now have Joe Pavelski on our team, and so instead of Nicky Petty, he will be filling in. And he might even be able to replace one of our guys right now if we need him to. And we will send down Nicky Petty down to the AHL for you. And let's see if he can slot in anywhere for the end of the season. So Ryan Dzingel has not exactly been impressive with his recent takeaway to giveaway ratio. So we'll get him out of there, and we will get Joe Pavelski in just for right now. I want to see how Pavelski does. And then we'll have Cizek, I guess, on the 4th line right wing. Now that's a line full of righties right there, so hopefully that the chemistry isn't too broken there. But one thing we could also do is, yes, have Pavelski on the penalty kill, so hopefully he will help out there as well. And how's Strite doing on faceoffs? 41 goals, jeez. 45%, so we'll get Pavelski in the middle. And we'll do the same thing for the 3-man penalty kill. So instead of Strite, we will have Joe Pavelski. Okay, so that's the only trade I'm making. That is the only trade I'm making for this team. I feel pretty confident in this team's ability to get it done, especially with the amount of goal scorers we have, with the amount of playmakers we have, with the amount of defense we have now, with the acquisition of Morgan Riley in the offseason. We have it all, I feel like, here in New York. So we're going to simulate the rest of the season here and hope that this team can get it done. So obviously, I don't think a 60-win season is happening. We would have to win every single game from now on, and I don't think that's happening, as John Gibson just got injured with an injured hamstring until March 7th. At least we're getting the injuries out of the way. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're going to be a playoff team, but yeah, at least we can trust Kincaid. At least we can trust Kincaid. Hopefully Kincaid doesn't go down too. That would be terrible. That would not be good news. So Kincaid, get in there, and Jason Hutchinson, get in there as well. Okay, so Bridgeport, best lines, sure. All right, let's see. Trade deadline day, and we lose 5-2 against the Buffalo Sabres. Not good. Washington, 3-1 win. All right, I'll take it. John Gibson's available. Not yet, you are not. You're going to heal, my man. You're going to wait until Columbus. And a 3-2 overtime win against Carolina. Very nice. We'll get John Gibson back in. You know what? I'm going to call up Schmidt just so that Hutchinson definitely gets all the games down there, and so that we have a goaltender to throw in there for a replace player if we have to. So, edit lines. Not going to do best lines here for the NHL. What's the problem? What is the problem? Why did it tell me to go to edit lines? Is it for the AHL? Yeah, AHL. So, we will get Hutchinson in there, and that is good. Back to the simulation. So, games against Columbus, Pittsburgh, Minnesota coming up. And Oliver Wahlstrom is our leading goal scorer, as you would imagine. Or a leading point scorer, I should say. I think Strider's our leading goal scorer. He's definitely our leading goal scorer, actually. What am I thinking? So, a 3-2 win, 6-2 win, and a 3-1 win. I read that out of order a little bit. I jumped to Minnesota first. But we are on a winning streak right now. Rafael Pouliot is now injured with a pulled groin until April 1st. That is not good. We'll view the draft class after we're done with the simulation. We're really not focused on the draft too much this year. Nicky Petty is injured. That's unfortunate for him. Good thing we sent him back to the AHL, though. So, overtime loss against Detroit, and then a shootout win against Pittsburgh. An unfortunate loss to break up our point streak there. But then we have an overtime loss against Chicago, so we get some more points out of that game. And we now have 50 wins on the season, so it's safe to say these Islanders are making the playoffs. It's just a matter of how many more wins can we get. And we can get up to 56 here. Can we get 2 more wins? Last games of the season against Boston and Washington. 1 win, and there is 2. We finished 56, 19-7. Definitely one of the better teams we've had as of recent. So, Oliver Wahlstrom, 52 goals. Is that the first time we've had a 50 goal scorer in how long in any of our GM modes? I mean, geez, we finish with 119 points. That is good enough for the President's Trophy. So let's take a look at the in-depth final season statistics. So 53 goals for Bennett Strite as well. My goodness, 2 50 goal scorers. When was the last time we even had 1 50 goal scorer? Nonetheless, 2. 2 50 goal scorers. My goodness. Oliver Wahlstrom with 85 points, plus 27, 330 shots. Man loves shooting the puck. 27 power play points. And, yeah, looking good. Bennett Strite, 53 goals. The man is outstanding at scoring goals. I mean, he already has close to 100 goals already. And he's only in his second season. 96 career goals so far for Bennett Strite and only 35 assists. Will definitely go down as one of the better goal scorers in channel history. And I don't see any reason why we would trade him, so... Man. Matt Barzal, 74 points. Mueller with 70 points, so that is the first time he's hit 70 in his career. Good giveaways to takeaways, good hits, and really good everything for Andreas Mueller. Once again, a solid season for him. Career high in goals with 25, and career high in assists with 45, and career high in points with 70. And in 5 less games than seasons past. So, very good season from Andreas Mueller. And why did I just back out there? There's some input lag there. And then Morgan Riley, the off-season acquisition, 58 points next to the sophomore in Pascal Durat. Pretty solid. Josh Hosang with 56. Commodore, outstanding career high with 49 points. Really looking like a second-line center now is Mike Commodore. Good takeaway to giveaway ratio. He's slowly but surely improving on those face-offs, so he's looking good. Joe Pavelski, I believe he had 6 points for us. He had 44. Chicago, +4, 180 shots. He wasn't on our power play, but good takeaway giveaway ratio, good face-offs. All you can really ask for him at this point in his career. Christian Ragnarsson with 45 points. Is that a career high? I believe it is. Yes, it is. So, I mean, obviously last year was his rookie year, but that is a career high in points by +5. So 45 points, +13. And then good takeaway to giveaway ratio, 55-42. Looking good for Christian Ragnarsson. Anthony Beauvillier had a little bit of an off year in terms of his point scoring, but more or less the same as he had last year. So that 61-point season seems like a little bit, distant at this point. But to be fair, he wasn't on the power play that year. This year he was not. And takeaways to giveaways definitely got better as the year went on. And face-offs, good as usual. So really can't complain from Anthony Beauvillier for the most part. Brady Shea with 41 points. Very nice. Anders Lee picked it up for sure towards the end of the year. 111 hits. Takeaways to giveaways was still rough. But for a third liner who got 37 points, it's really not that bad. I'm just worried about the potential drop-off that Lee's going to have, and he's already a top 9 forward. So that we might definitely want to think about trading him this offseason. If not, definitely next. So that might have been a bad signing by me for the contract extension. It seemed good at the time because he was still a top 6 and at the time was 31 that we signed him, but then immediately turned 32. So that, I guess, put a little hindrance on those plans there. Guess I shouldn't have re-signed him as soon as I did. Ludvig Ottoson with 34 points in his rookie season, +20. 125 shots, 106 hits. 54 takeaways to 38 giveaways, so very solid rookie season from him. Tim Cizek with 27 points in his rookie year. 81 overall now, third line scoring forward. So good rookie season from him as well. Kind of poor on the faceoffs there, but he can work on that as he goes along in his career. Pulock with 27 points, Dzingel 20. He was scratched for that last part of the season. Dobson with 19. Muzzin 16. Durette with 12 for playing with Morgan Riley. He definitely, 87 overall now for Pascal Durette. He's looking primed for the first defensive pair as of next year. +22 now this year. Definitely was the right move picking up Morgan Riley from free agency. A lot more hits this year as well than last year, so he's definitely making himself known on this New York Islanders roster. 6 games for Bodie Wild. He will definitely get a lot more next year with us needing to move out salary. And then plus minus, was anyone a minus? No. Pulock, as usual, up there for the top plus on the team. Shots, Wahlstrom and Strike both over 300. And then not a single guy after that at 200. But Ragnarsson, Commodore, Pavelski, Mueller, they all get a decent amount of shots as well. Power play points, 27 for Wahlstrom, 24 for Mueller, 22 for Barzell. And then how about goals for Strike? Only 11 power play goals for Strike. That's odd considering the amount of goals he had. So he had 42 even strength goals this year. That's almost as many goals as he had total last year. And 15 of his goals last year came on the power play. Bennett Strike, what a pick. What a pick. And he's only 85 overall, too. It's not like he's, 90 overall doing this. He's 85 overall, scoring 53 goals this season. Are you kidding me? Same thing with Oliver Wahlstrom. Man, we have 2 great goal scorers in this GM mode, for sure. All right, so face-off-wise, not hit-wise, face-off-wise, we have Barzell, 55.7. Beauvillier at a 53.5. Pavelski at a 53.2. Good move getting him. Bennett Strike kept it up all year with a 51.3. Commodore, 49.7, basically a 50. And then Dzingel, 44.5. Cizek, 42.2. He could definitely improve. Hits, we have 148 for Shea, 145 for Pulock, 142 for Mueller, 141 for Durant, 130 for Streit, 111 for Lee, 107 for Riley, 106 for Ottoson. All the guys over 100. We are definitely a physical team. Giveaways to takeaways. Let's see. This should be very interesting. Streit, very good. Commodore, very good. Ryerson, very good. Ottoson, very good. Mueller, good. Wallstrom, decent, but he's getting goals, so really can't complain. Barzell, same thing, except assists. Shea, defenseman, can't complain too much. And he's getting offense as well. Ho-Sang, good. Pavelski, very good. Pulock, what you gonna do? Beauvillier, all these guys down here. And again, I'm not really sure as to why Lee's ratio was so bad. But again, he's a name that we might want to consider trading in the offseason, regardless of what happens in the playoffs. Durant with 2 fights, Pulock with 1. And as we check goaltenders, John Gibson with a .915 save percentage to end the season, and Kincaid with a .929 to end the season as well. 5 shutouts for Gibson, 1 for Kincaid, 40 wins for Gibson, 17 for Kincaid. So that is an extra 34 points in the bank from having Kincaid play those 24 games. So really cannot complain from him, as that probably is what won us the President's Trophy, to be honest. And 1 assist as well for Gibson. AHL-wise, Hutchinson as a 900. Really would have liked to see some improvement from him in terms of his save percentage. He had a .914 in the NHL in the 1 game that he played, so that's kind of promising. I don't know. Not really too much of a sample size, though. And then players, Pekarainen with 63 points. Sean Greiba with 35 points. What an absolute stud he has turned out to be for the AHL. He's grown all the way from a 48 overall, I believe it was, to now a 78. He is looking to crack the NHL roster next year, or maybe even in the playoffs for depth. Raphael Pouliot, 74 overall. Doug Hines, 24 points on the season, 72 overall. 26 points for Pouliot, forgot to mention. John Toiber, 75 overall. He is taking his sweet time to grow. 24 points, but hopefully he'll get there next year. Man, for a 9th overall pick, he's really taking his time. But, oh well, we have Morgan Riley now anyway, so it's not like we really need him anyway, like we did a few years ago. Petty, Lynn, yep, all these guys. So that'll just about do it for year number 5 now, I believe it is. Now, let's check the team stats going into the playoffs. So, yep, President's Trophy, New York Islanders. That's what I like to see. And a 3.51 goals for per game. Is that the most in the league? Yes, it is. By far. We are a deadly offensive team, and that's mainly thanks to, I would imagine, Bennett Streit and Oliver Wallstrom. 2 invaluable assets for this team, for sure. Goals against per game, we're definitely got better. 2.49 compared to 2.6 when we last checked. So we definitely got better as the year went on. And then power play, we are top 5 in the league. 24.8, very nice. Penalty kill, yeah, it's our usual Achilles heel, as we're quite down there with a 77.2. So kind of ugly there, but hey, we won the President's Trophy, so I'm not complaining too much. So as we make our way to the playoffs, let's see who we are facing. It should be either Columbus or Philly. I'm not sure as to exactly how that works still with that system. Like, I'm not sure if the second wildcard team in the Metropolitan plays the first team in the Atlantic, or if they play the first team in the Metropolitan. I'm not exactly sure how that works with that when that happens. I was never really sure about that. I always knew that 2 and 3 played each other, but I'm not sure about the wild cards in this case when there's 2 wild cards from the same division. So we will see who we have here, as your New York Islanders end a fantastic season and look to do the same thing in the playoffs against the Philadelphia Flyers. So for the playoffs in the Western Conference, we have Arizona versus Calgary, Edmonton versus Anaheim, St. Louis versus Vancouver, Winnipeg versus Colorado. This is so nice how this thing doesn't flip on you anymore. It's great. EA was thinking of us commentators. Boston and Columbus. Tampa Bay and Buffalo. Carolina and New Jersey. And your New York Islanders versus the Philadelphia Flyers. So let's check out Philly really quick. See what they're all about. We know about guys like Claude Giroux, Nolan Patrick. But see their overalls and all that. If we have them. So Yanni Gourde, Claude Giroux, Jake Voracek. Then you have James Van Riemsdyk, Ricard Tuomainen, and then Joel Farabee. And then third line, Travis Konechny, Nolan Patrick, and Scott Laughton. And then fourth line, Jake De La Rose, and then Yerman Rubtsov, and Brendan Leipsic. Defensively, Ivan Provorov and Shane Gostisbehere, Travis Sanheim and Gustav Forsling, and then Samuel Morin and Thomas Hickey. Goaltender-wise, you got Mike Smith and then Carter Hart, so I would imagine Hart would be starting. I was about to say, is there a starter Mike Smith? My goodness. But no, Carter Hart, 87 overall. Scratched is Zemgus Girgensons, Francois Dagenet, and Philippe Myers. So that'll be the Philadelphia Flyers that we are going up against. And that'll be it for this one. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next one when we face the Philadelphia Flyers in round number 1. See you guys then.